All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wonder Wednesday here at Floxies community. I don't know if you know already, but every Wednesday you will be finding us here on this space presenting our weekly events at Floxies. Floxies is our international community for all women in the world who share a passion for digital design or webflow, no-code tools, and anything related to the virtual world. Okay, so today, as a guest speaker, we will be having Hilary Cluett and Silvina Couto, and we will have an interesting talk on confidence. What does confidence mean, and how to improve, I guess, our confidence? And I think they've got a little treat for us, but I'm not sure. So let's go and find out. So, as per usual, let's get into our gather. So let me just share the screen. Here we go. Should be able to see my screen. And let's go. Join the gathering. If you're watching us for the first time, this platform is called GatherTown, and that's where we've built our virtual office. Sorry, hi everyone. I was just presenting to the world. Hi, welcome Silvina. Hi Hilary. You look amazing. Happy Wednesday, Floxies. Lovely to meet you.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday,
yes,
indeed.
Silvina has been in this space for 15 minutes now, and it's been really fun having her here.
Hilary has been just showing me around because it's the first time that I'm on some sort of platform like this. So I'm just, getting to grip with how this works and all of that. So yeah,
that's amazing. How's the experience so far?
Yeah, it's really fun. Good fun actually. So very excited.
That's great. I'm happy that you had somebody to show you around, give you a little tour, so we didn't have to come and rescue you behind the wall or something. That's quite that happens quite often.
Right.
It's my bad onboarding.
No, don't worry. It's all good. I'm just going to. Okay, so I'm like in a little chair now.
Yes, you are. And I was saying at the end, Claudia, you'll have to take us to the school and show us that space, because that's where we're actually going to be doing the thing.
That's really exciting. Also, I'm not sure, maybe the girls here might have seen it before. I'm sure Maria has. Aida, I'm not sure if I showed you the school, but it might be a bit of a surprise to some people.
Nice.
Follow Claudia.
Yeah, just follow me into the secret halls.
And Carmilla is here, but she has a headache, and she's dealing with some work stuff, so she's off. Yeah.
I look frantic clicking my mouse all over my screen, so I'm not going to be on video.
Oh, Carmilla, I'm so sorry for your headache. Drink a lot of water.
I promise you, I'm not lying when I say this, but it kind of got better since I've been here at this little table.
Yeah.
Down a little bit. It might be that, or the Tylenol, or the toast I ate. Oh no, this is on YouTube now, Claudia.
Well, maybe there's gonna be someone there who can give you some tips. My tip: if you press your thumbnails together, that sometimes helps with the migraine.
For headaches?
Yeah, I mean it helps me, and I'm quite experienced with migraines, but if you just press your thumbnails together for a bit, it releases.
I've done the one Maria is showing. I've done that, like when you grab your whatever that is called next to your thumb hand.
I was like, I'm doing what Maria's doing, and she's eating. I was like, oh,
come on.
Hi, Diletta.
I feel like you're always eating though. It's fine.
Hey, Diletta. She's away from tab.
Hi there.
Yeah, hello. Great to see you. Let me check our chat. Now, it's been a week. It's been a whole week. So, Silvina, as you can see, we're very chilled. Every week, we started broadcasting our events, and it's been quite new to me. I'm not an experienced designer like you, or not very experienced in the digital world, just as a gamer. I've always been a bit of a nerd. I'm still trying to figure how everything works, and every week I seem to be starting from scratch. But I promise I'll get better. So yeah, let's have a look.
No, it's really exciting, I think, what you've created here. So yeah, you should be proud.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. So yeah, YouTube is working. Christopher Coleman is there watching us and saying hi. Hi, Chris. Great to see you here.
Hello,
Aida and the UX Voca Club. So for people here that might not know, we have Hilary Cluett, who's the founder at the UX Voca Club, and also a communication and presentation coach, as well as being an all-rounder, amazing human being. Always, she's always ready to help, always been so supportive in our community, and I'm very grateful to be able to share this space with her. And Silvina, who's I'm equally sure she's just as amazing as Hilary, because she brought you here, so you must be amazing as well, and I'm sure you are. And she's also an experienced designer with a background in human computer interaction, and together they've been researching a little bit on confidence, and they've come up with a plan that I'm very curious to see what this presentation will be all about. But as I put down on Twitter, the question that I think everyone can start asking themselves a little bit is, what does confidence mean to you?
Yep. That's amazing. Silvina, I love that we've been doing a little bit of research. How much research have you actually done? Because it's been 2 years, first of all, and Silvina is like the research queen. So there's been books have been read, piles of documents have been sorted, and like I think as a team, Silvina's expertise is really this research side, going into all the details, all the angles, and then my forte in our little pair is more kind of taking that information and making it something that we can communicate and share. So that's what this is all about. But Silvina, how much research have you done?
Well, I've got a bit of I'm a little bit obsessive when it comes to things that I'm interested in, and I think it all started when when we met Hilary, and then we wrote a few articles on LinkedIn about user experience, CVs, portfolios, and interviews, and then it all sort of went from there. And then we Hilary, you put a poll on LinkedIn as to asking what kind of things were people interested, designers interested in knowing more, and for us to let them know. And just for a second here. And then confidence came up as like the big sort of thing that people wanted to know more about, or wanted to become more confident. And we started. I was also doing some mentoring on the side, and my mentoring sessions were always about confidence. Basically, whether people wanted to be confident during their interviews for a job, or for putting together their CV and all of that. And so I think I've done like loads. I've read loads, but you did as well, Hilary. I mean, I just I listened to all the podcasts that I could. I grabbed all the possible information that I could, read everything, distilled everything, and I've been meeting with Hilary almost on a monthly basis for the past 2 years or something like that. In the meantime, I was pregnant, and I gave birth in August.
Amazing. Congratulations. Little confidence, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And so things slowed down a little bit, obviously, since I had my son. But we're still kind of pretty much meeting, almost on a monthly basis, and sort of continuing with this. And I think right now we're at a stage. So we put together this sort of, challenge. I don't know, Hilary, if you want to now continue, or do you want me to
Sure.
just summarize, or however you want to?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what we did. We've put together this challenge. So just like Silvina said, like distilled all of that research and had an end goal in mind. Like we didn't want to just like say, oh, increase your confidence and like, you know, do these things, because that's not really in the research, and like from what we were understanding, like that wasn't actually going to be helpful. So we wanted to like have something tangible at the end. That's like my key, is like to always have a tangible outcome. And so the idea is that all of this leads up to someone being able to write a LinkedIn about me profile, or you know, that header or that headline that goes on your CV, it's on LinkedIn. Just have a really solid header right at the end, as kind of that tangible outcome of you going through this entire process. And then we have a bit of a presentation to show you about what we think the process might be and how we're asking for your help to make sure that it actually works, right?
Yeah, so there's those tangible outcomes, and also it's also a process during those 20 days. As of now, it's 20 days, but again, it's still a work in progress, so things may change. But throughout this process is what the goal as well is for people to gain a better awareness of themselves as well. And so there will be also other sort of artifacts that people will be left with, such as, you know, their notion of their values. What is it? And for example, when you know what your values are, you also become more able to identify job opportunities that are a better fit for you, and so on and so forth. So it's for people to leave the challenge with some sort of so tangible outcomes, but also an awareness of themselves in terms of their values, their personal vision, their I can't remember now, because I've been dealing with a baby for the whole day, so I haven't been through it. But anyways, there's a lot of concepts and that these exercises will take people through for them to develop that awareness of themselves. And so
Yeah. And then so everyone can see it, I'm going to share my screen right now. So I'm going to lose touch with everyone, but Silvina is here. Okay, so
Hilary, is that a bubble I see on your wall? Is that lots of bubbles?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Awesome. Also, I just wanted to share that Hilary is, you know, our official bubble maker here at Floxies, and obviously today she's presenting, so I'm trying to do my best to do a quick bubble for her.
That's amazing. Okay. Oh, and I don't even have it on the. Okay, one moment. Just give me 1 second, everybody.
No worries.
I want to start it on the right slide. You know, after William's presentation last week, I want to make sure I don't overwhelm everybody going through everything. Okay, so let's share. So this is it. It's been 2 years. Now we're ready to launch the Build Your Confidence Challenge. Yes.
Awesome. Let me find the slides so that I can broadcast it. Okay, I see it. Awesome. Yeah.
And then if anyone wants to view this presentation that I'm currently about to share, you can scan this QR code and it'll pull up on your device, because you'll get all the details that way. So give everybody 5 seconds to scan it.
Yeah. Let me just have a look. I was actually supposed to try this out before, but I didn't have a moment.
Carmia tried it for us. It apparently works. So
awesome.
Everyone can. Okay, sweet.
Yeah, it works.
Nice. Okay, so just like Silvina said, while helping UX designers, we realized that it's actually a lack of confidence that kind of stops people from progressing in their careers or just personally, right? It's that self-awareness. So this challenge is for all UX designers or any designer out there who wants to develop more substantial confidence, right, in all areas of their lives. And we're looking to build a community of people kind of doing this pilot project with us on LinkedIn. So that's going to be really fun, because we're going to be able to grow and learn from one another in a really niche environment. in a professional setting. So just like Silvina was saying, by the end of the challenge, you will dun, da, 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 be able to demonstrate your strengths and describe your personal purpose, vision, goals, and mission. Right? So you're going to understand a little bit more about your habits and what is the criteria that you use to define your confidence. So there's going to be a few exercises to help identify obstacles or things that drain you in your life. And then at the end, you're going to have the confidence to be proud and share your About Me section on LinkedIn, communicating your values, and also you could use it on your CV or on your portfolio, right? So it's that information-packed profile headline. And more importantly, as Silvina mentioned, you're going to know your value proposition. So you're going to know what sets you apart from everyone else. So how will it work? We're imagining right now that it's 20 days. However, every day we have set a task to complete so that by the end you have, just like Silvina was saying, these artifacts, right, that you can use to help you build your career, build your goals, whatever it is. However, the pilot project is going to be 20 weeks because we know, asking someone to show up 20 days in a row is kind of intense. So we want to make sure that it has enough time. And it's going to take place in the Floxies school. And Claudia will take us there after we do our little chat. So I think that's going to be really fun and a really fun place to meet. So if you do want to be part of that project, that QR code kind of takes you through this, but we would love to have you there. And the only thing is at the end of each session, there'll just be a little questionnaire, right? Because we're trying to do that human-centered approach where we're like really making sure that this works, not just out there, because there's a lot out there.
Sorry to interrupt you, Hilary. Let me just add that so this pilot, obviously, it's like I said, it's a work, and like you said as well, Hilary, it's a work in progress. So our goal for now during the next 20 weeks is to test each of the tasks.
Yep.
And see if the whole thing flows well, and if you understand the exercises, how you feel about the exercises, and if it makes any sense, so that we can then adjust and redo things. So when I said it's for now, as of now, it's 20 days, but maybe at the end of the so when we launch actually to the public will be 20 days, but perhaps after this pilot, after your feedback, we might think, oh, actually, that exercise doesn't make any sense, or maybe needs to be moved around to another day, or something like that. That's the kind of feedback we're looking at, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And so then for the daily tasks, because that's what we can show you next, because that's actually kind of I don't know, it's really, I think Silvina, I have to say, Silvina put the flow together, and I really like the flow. It's making a lot of sense. And I'm very happy, Maria, that you like being a guinea pig, because we will definitely take your comments and feedback. Okay, so let me try this again. So I'm going to screen share another sway.
And I would like to add that, that's always the purpose of having communities and just like groups like, what we have and what we're going to have on LinkedIn, so that we can just grow and improve together.
Exactly.
So I agree with Silvina that there's not going to be necessarily a date or a limit on, I don't know, a deadline, for example, but it's going to be an ongoing process of collective growth.
Yep. Yeah. So this is the breakdown of the challenge. Okay. So there's 3 parts. Part 1 is the longest, and then it kind of gets shorter and shorter. So if you try and do everything in one day, it's obviously going to be overwhelming. You can't get confidence in 24 hours. So we've broken it down for right now into 3 parts. And for the pilot project, it'll be actually around 20 weeks that we go through this. So part 1. Part 1 are days 1 through 11. And so you're going to start by reflecting on what confidence means to you. And then by day 11, you find your mission statement, basically. So that's going to be 11 weeks, which actually is about 3 months. So I think that's going to be really interesting as this pilot project goes on, like to see that growth, because apparently habits, it takes longer for a habit to change. So it might actually be kind of nice that we're taking our time with this. I don't know. I'm just saying that. Okay. So I've made a bunch of cards. So what I'm thinking is at the end, we can come back to like what the days are and like actually get a group discussion going on. But these are just examples of like the flow that we're thinking right now. So day 1, reflect on what confidence means to you. And if you scan that QR code, it takes you to the LinkedIn group where you can request to join this pilot project. So it's going to come up again and again. So day 1, reflect on what confidence means to you, right? Which is exactly what Claudia was saying, would be a really good discussion topic for today. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with that. But then we have like day 2, paint a picture of who you are to start accepting yourself, right? Day 3, reflect on people you view as confident. So these are just the summaries of the daily activities. Silvina's actually like put together, questions and exercises and things to really go through. I tried to do it like before we were doing this launch, like this project. I was trying to like go through the exercises and record myself doing them, and was like, wow, like these are so substantial. Like we need more people. Like we need more people doing this. It can't just be me doing a bubble about what I think is confidence. It needs to be more. But it's really interesting to see the activities, because if someone says, oh, just reflect on people you view as confident, you might not know where to start. And that's kind of where our challenge helps guide you through the 20 days or the 20 weeks. I'll just go through a few more here. So day 4, reflect on your own confidence. Day 5, capture 3 successes you had in the last year. And then that goes up to day 11, where you're getting your mission, right? Your mission statement. So that takes us to part 2. Part 2 are days 12 to 17. And you're going to really figure out that awareness, that self-awareness. So this is going to be 5 weeks. It's going to be just a little over a month. And you're going to, at the end, build your personal value proposition, right? And develop that appreciation of your strengths and how to play to your strengths. So the final part is only 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. I can't count. Okay, so this is where you're writing your information-packed profile headline. So this is like that tangible outcome at the end. But you can see that all of those other days, there were going to be a lot of assets that you have. So it's kind of fun. So the next step, if you would like to join, you can scan this QR code and request to join the UX Confidence Club on LinkedIn. We would love to have you as part of our pilot project. It's very exciting for us. And I think now, like, Silvina, do you have anything else to add? I think I'll stop sharing in 5 seconds in case if anyone else wants to scan it.
No, I think that's it. I mean, I wanted to also add that something that I remembered actually now. So by the end, so for example, the way that we built the sort of the challenges, the daily challenges, is that by the end, let's say, for example, when you want to write your bio to use professionally, you'll be using stuff that you did in the previous activities, right? So all of this building awareness itself throughout the challenge, and all of these artifacts, you'll keep them, but you will also use them then to write, for example, your professional bio or your value proposition. You're going to be, for example, using your, things that you came up in previous challenges, like your strengths. You'll be using those then to write. So it all sort of
grade.
Yeah, exactly. Like how do you say? Maybe like a domino or something. It all kind of will, yeah. Um, but yeah, but obviously this is all open to all your feedback, and this is what we need. We need this feedback to see if this all makes sense, and if maybe some exercises are a bit complicated even, and perhaps we can simplify them, or some of them are too simple, and maybe it's all a draft right now, so all feedback.
We're delivering our draft. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, that's it. Delivering our draft.
So what does everyone think? I invited everyone to share your opinions of what confidence means to you, and that's day one of the challenge. So it would be lovely to hear from anyone about what it means to you, or what it doesn't mean to you. I don't know. I could.
So as per usual, people feel free to just jump on the mic if you like, or use the emojis at the bottom of your gather town, and you can put your hands up, very civilized, and we'll call your names. And yeah, there you go, Maria. And for example, when you were saying you can't get confident in 24 hours, I was thinking, well, it depends on. Sometimes after a couple of bottles of red, I feel quite confident. Depends how good the wine is. But yes, who's got their hands up?
Maria. Oh, were you just
Yeah, and exactly what you said. It was very close to what I was thinking, because for me, confidence is to be able to be you and not give a fuck. Oops.
Yeah.
Beep.
But
beep.
Yeah, someone has to have a button with me, pressing it. Yeah, that thing which happens when you're drunk, that you're kind of actually don't care, and all of you comes out, and whoever likes it takes it, and who doesn't, but it's you, and it's you.
Yeah. Do you
yeah, true. Yeah. Who wants to talk?
No, well, I just want to know, okay, so if those, that obviously does that attitude, right? That's confidence, but are there ways to kind of achieve it without
being an alcoholic?
No, because some people may use the gym to amp them up to be confident, or there's always, it almost seems like there's always something that then leads you to be confident. It's interesting. I haven't gone through the 20-week challenge, so I'm waiting for that confidence level also. But it's it's an interesting topic. Do we always need something external to boost ourselves, or can we actually do the work ourselves and attain that level of no F's given on a daily basis, right? Because I don't know. Wine works though.
To me, it's a
that
very
24-hour fix, the quick fix.
To me, it's a very fine line between being confident or brave. I find it hard to separate the two. Sometimes I feel like I'm being confident, but actually I'm just avoiding my fears. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not sure. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm just gonna impulsively present myself and see how it goes.
And see how it goes. Yeah.
Right.
Victoria's
yeah, no, that's interesting. I think sorry, I won't speak because I think other people want to speak, so I'll leave that for other people.
I just see Victoria with her hand up.
Sorry, yeah. I wasn't sure if you were on about me because I noticed there was another Victoria.
Oh,
I don't know where she is, but
well, feel free.
Hi,
One of the
New
two.
Year. Sorry, I'm not sure how it works.
Both Victoria. Hi.
It told me a second ago I turned off someone's camera and I was just panicking. No.
We can see you. We can see you and hear you.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I was like, how far does this go? Like, you're tying into LinkedIn, did you say? So is it like building into your profile as well, being more authentic and presenting yourself in a more authentic way?
Totally.
That
Totally.
sounds amazing. I've this past 2-3 weeks, I've been networking because I'm sure you've all done it yourselves. Like, I've been cold calling, cold emailing, you know, getting people through the door. And it doesn't work, but networking is really working well for me. This past 2-3 weeks, I have been absolutely dragged and roasted over my LinkedIn profile.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's been some really, like, the other day, I think it was on Friday, took this call with this. It was a really dodgy, like, someone else profile picture. Awful. It's like you got a neon resting bitch face, like a big neon fuck off sign. And I was like, oh, okay.
Beep.
All
Number
right.
2.
Like everything else, I was like, fair play. You can tell me my bio is awful, but the picture.
Yeah, that's intense. Well, we can just take that opinion with a grain of salt. Thank you, and like keep moving.
Yeah.
But that is actually, so one of the things that I used to constantly be told by so many people, like the amount and variety of people that would tell me this was just insane. Like, you're very aggressive, and like you come across very aggressive. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm not aggressive, right? It's like, okay, no. So I had to go back and like, I've been doing face reading training because I was like, well, what's my face saying to people, and what are people's faces saying to me? Because I don't know. And so I started like, because I was like, I feel fine. Like, I'm fine. Like, what are you talking about? And so that's actually part of the second part of the 20 week, is like we actually look at kind of how our body language and what that's kind of portraying to people, and then you know, you can think about for sure, yeah, because it's really hard, right? Like, that's like a professional setting, and that's kind of why we're using that as the group, because it really, it makes everybody clean up their act, get, you know, like, be at least professional, no nudies on LinkedIn, right? So, thank God, right? Hopefully, so far. So, you know, that's, we're kind of using that as that professional platform, because it isn't just, you know, your Instagram account or your personal profile. Like, this is something that you're showing the world, so you already have to have a level of confidence to put that out there, right? So good for you for having a LinkedIn profile, Victoria. Like, that guy, whatever, like, it's fine. We take all of that, like, thank you, and we can move on. But like, you're right, like that, the profile picture with the headline, with that about me, as Silvina is saying, like, you get a lot of content from these activities that we're going to be going through. Like, there's a lot, like, they're intense. Like, it'll probably take about half an hour each week that we do it. But then you get a lot so that you can work with that material. So yeah, for sure.
May's
So
gonna
is there
be
much one-on-one, or is it all in like individual?
This is a group pilot project. Like, I do offer one-on-one training. Some of my clients are here right now, and they're amazing. But like, I do offer one-on-one training, like, to kind of level up how you communicate and present, if that's something you were looking for. I have a Floxies and Friends discount, but and Silvina also does mentoring, like, for very specific UX, you know, designers looking to level up their career also. So yeah, we do one-on-one, but this is more of like a group, because we really wanted to get everyone's opinions. And in the school that Claudia built for Floxies, there are like breakout rooms. So even if there's like 60 of us, you know, we can still have intimate conversations with about 4 to 6 people, where you're really discussing what the activity is. So I think, you know, it's not going to be as large as this each time. Like, you're going to get kind of a conversation that we can all talk about it after. So I think that'll be really fun. That's part of the reason why I wanted to use the school.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I might have to add a few tables. But yeah, we'll
Maybe.
see.
Right.
I can see Priya in the chat. She says, I think confidence is related to activities we're doing, what are our mindset while doing those activities. And Brianna says, I would say my confidence comes from being comfortable with failing and open to change, knowing I am constantly looking to grow, and it's okay to be at certain places in life.
Yeah.
So true.
Absolutely.
Priya, I think it's really interesting that you mentioned the mindset with the activity, because I was talking to someone on LinkedIn and they were saying, like, I was really confident to present my, they were like, you know, when I don't understand what I'm talking about, or I don't necessarily get the whole grasp of something, then I feel really unconfident. And I was like, oh, so it is activity based. Like if you're doing something you know, yeah, I'm confident. And then you flip the switch and someone shows you something that you've never seen before, and all of a sudden it's like, so, you know, like you're protecting yourself, like hiding. I thought that's, yeah, so Priya nailed it for sure. Thank you. And Brianna, like failing, being comfortable with failing. I used to do a failure Fridays, and it was like all the things that I had sucked at that week and like my learnings, right? And Kathleen said, she was listening to someone who said like failure is the first attempt in learning, right? So I'm so curious, if you don't feel comfortable unmuting or showing yourself, like don't worry about it, but like what is your, like what does it mean to you to be comfortable with failing?
Everybody, thank you for the presentation. It's going great so far. But for me, I would say being comfortable with failing, like I'm like, I don't know, I don't really get embarrassed too easily. I'm really okay with making a fool of myself and just going straight in. Like, even if I don't know something, I'm okay with just like, okay, well, let's learn it on the fly. So I think it's a lot of my personality too. It's because I understand if something goes wrong, that means I have opportunity to do something better next time. So it really goes into how I look into situations, because I'm constantly like, okay, even if something does go well, I'm like, how can I do better next time? So that's just my mindset of how I just go into everything. It kind of backfires at times, but it can have its pros and its cons. But yeah, just I'm constantly open to change and not trying to take control of certain situations and being open to anything at certain times. So I guess it really goes into personality too.
Yeah. That openness.
Yeah, that's interesting. The fact that, you know, you've got that sort of mindset of you know, you're always constantly wanting to learn more and never taking yourself too seriously, and that's where your confidence comes from, I guess, in that sense.
And I would say that a lot of that would come from my childhood. My mom just always influenced me to just keep learning. I always had a book as a child. Just always had my leap pad or my leapfrog with me. And I was just always open to stuff. And so I'm just like that as an adult to this day. And I still see the childness in myself in that manner. So yes, I would definitely agree with you on that.
That's good.
And that's so important as well, to see the journey you've had as a child. I think that plays a big role as well as an adult. And some people, obviously, Brianna, you had a great example for you, and obviously it worked out amazingly. And some other people have to really pick themselves up and kind of build their confidence because they didn't have that structure. So yeah, that's really important as well. We have some people on YouTube saying, Stefano, ciao Stefano, imposter syndrome can play a big role in self-confidence or the lack of self-confidence.
Yep.
And Christopher,
but what does Claudia say about imposter syndrome?
No time for that.
Yeah. I mean, we're acknowledging it's a real thing. Let's not. But like in Claudia's.
Yeah, it's just no time for that. No, just like my fears, go away. Christopher says, part of me hates that confidence feels like a game you have to play to prove yourself in a new circle. It's fueled by presentational expectations that have no impact on the actual work you do.
That's interesting. Yeah. Penny, what do you have to say about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, I'll just be right up front. ADHD took over my brain for a moment there, and I missed part of what the comment actually was.
So part of me
that's one of my confidence issues, is just when my brain decides to go for a vacation in the middle of a conversation.
and
that's okay.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Buffering. Penny's buffering.
Yeah, So Chris said that he doesn't like that confidence feels like a game that you have to play, right? So if you're going into a new circle, you know, there's something like you have to show up. I mean, it's the opposite of what Maria was saying, where it's like, you know, you want to be yourself and not care, right? Chris is saying, yeah, okay, but when you show up to a new group, there's this game that you're playing into. I guess I'm asking, like, do you find there's a game?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd say, you know, probably in the neurodivergent community, so ADHD, autistic, etc., the term that's being used is masking, right? Where you're trying to pass for being as much like everybody else as possible. And confidence in that game is essentially the same thing, right? It's saying, I know what I'm doing and I'm confident here. And inside you're going, God, I hope they don't really see what's going on in my head, right? And I find that a lot of that is based on, you know, your own level of knowledge and comfort. And like, you know, especially when I'm working with, you know, tools that I haven't spent enough time with, but I'm telling people I can do things because I believe I can, right? But it's hard when you're kind of going, oh, geez, I hope I can. I'm putting myself out there, crossing my fingers that I won't run into a problem I can't solve.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and I think that's the challenge that we've the 20 days, or in this case it's going to be 20 weeks challenge. It's a lot about giving you and you being able to build that information about yourself, so that you've got, you know, you've got that, you build that information, you've got that knowledge about yourself, so that when you go into a situation, let's say a new situation or something like that, you know, it's like it's intrinsic. It's not, there's nothing extreme, there's no extrinsic motivations for you to be a certain whatever, but it's knowing yourself and be confident in your own skin to sort of assert yourself in that way, rather than having to kind of be a certain way because or the same as everybody else, or something like that, right? Because when you like to be the same as everybody else, that comes from a place of you not being confident, basically, right? Of you not really owning yourself. So
it's essentially playing a character. It's like,
exactly.
I'm playing the character of the confident woman in this situation.
Yeah,
right? Or the confident
exactly.
developer or whatever.
Yeah.
So I need to read this chat for a second though, because like this is going insane.
It's going
I
on
love
fire.
it. Okay, so Lizzie, I definitely feel confident when I feel grounded, when my passion, knowledge, and sense of purpose all align and I'm good. Yeah. If I feel inadequate in some way, even if it's just perceived, then confidence gone. Yep, that's what.
Yeah.
Carmia, I think community is massive. Yes. If you know you have a support system, the stabs from the outside world may not matter that much, right? That's, to me, that's Floxies, to be honest. Like that kind of got me out of my like total comfort zone. So, and because it's having that community to rely on, right? And that's part of the reason why we're trying to do that again on LinkedIn, even more niche for something so specific in a professional platform, right? To really get everybody together. Brianna, Penny, for you, being honest about your health conditions also helps with my confidence and mine. Thank you, Penny, for just, you know, sharing that moment with us, because that's what we're all about, right? And Aida, who previously said that, you know, she uses the gym to help with her confidence. Yes, girl, you look great. Like, and she agrees with Carmia, right, about this support system. So
now you can stop reading the comments.
I can stop reading them?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Everyone follow Carmia's website.
Everyone follow Carmia, yeah. Everyone follow her webflow page.
That's funny.
Yeah, okay, so that's great. Penny, you have your hand up still. Would you love to continue? No? Okay. No.
Prachi's got her hand up.
Prachi, yes, thank you. Oh my god, I'm so happy you're here. Hi.
And I just want to say hello to Margie.
Hi,
Hasn't been here for a while.
So as we were talking about confidence, one thing just came into my mind. Uh, for me, just now, confidence was to unmute myself and say something about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel that for me, confidence is something is that getting to know that what is the right time for you to get out of something, even if it's a job, it's a relationship, or anything. So for me, I'm a very underconfident person, but this confidence I have like since I was a kid. I know when to say no, when to come out of something, and that is kind of I think some people find it's a kind of demerit also, because if I don't like, if I was working in a company, I didn't like the environment. I was just, even if I'm working for a 1 month, I will be ready to leave that job. But for some people, it is like. They will look at you and they'll be like, oh, you will never get adjusted in any of the company, you will keep on doing this, you will keep on leaving the company. But for me, I don't feel ashamed of that. If I don't feel that something, I'm working there, if I'm working somewhere for like 8 to 9 hours and I don't feel confident, I don't feel good about it, then there is no point of working there. So I feel my point is very valid, but like most of people, they think that, oh, at some point of the time you will have to get settled, you have to go with it. So for me, that is the biggest confidence I have.
Yeah, Prachi, thanks for sharing that. I actually I can relate so much to that, to what you've said. I've been through similar situations like that as well, where people have told me like, "Oh, Silvina, you keep changing jobs, and that doesn't look good on your profile, and all blah blah blah." And I've never thought that. Initially, actually, at first, years and years ago, I actually bought a bit into that, and I thought to myself, oh my god, how am I going to look like onto other, to the exterior, if my, let's say, my LinkedIn profile says that I've been in 3 jobs in less than a year or 2 years or something like that. But eventually, I realized that it doesn't make any sense. Of course, when you're just asserting yourself in a professional way, if you're not happy with a job, like you were saying, Prachi, if you're working 9 to 5 or whatever, and you're not happy, you move, you do something about it, right? And that's but that comes from a place of knowing yourself and knowing that. And being able to act on that as well. A lot of people don't, I think, and sort of fall into like, oh, what are other people going to think about?
Yeah.
Act on that, and I would say also use that, because that could be a really valid point when you're being interviewed for a new job, and then you can say, as you can see on my profile, I've been changing 3 jobs in a year. What can you do to keep me longer?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because one thing is for sure is when you go into a job, and maybe we're already kind of, let me just say this: when you go into a job, you are spending, let's say, 7 hours a day or whatever it is, 8 hours a day of your time doing that job for this company. And so it's a contract. You're exchanging a contract here. So you have the power to also make your own, say what you want, basically, right? You don't have to feel like they're doing a favor by hiring you or anything like that, right? It's an exchange of work, basically. They're paying you for you to deliver some work. That's it. Right, so you're not like a tiny little thing and they're like a massive thing. You're in similar situations, a company and you're just exchanging services, basically.
Yeah. Victoria, you had your hand up there. Did you?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree there with Silvina there. That was just spot on. Like before I started Webflow and like designing and just doing everything by myself and learning a whole new field and stuff, I was in retail, and it's like from school age as well, it's ingrained at you that you're there for a service and you're there under an authority figure and you just have to obey. And there's like toxic environments, like if you have to be, like, go off sick, whatever, like all your employees are like, why, like, you've left us with all this burden, and it's like this massive burden is put on you as an employee. Whereas now that I know the worth I bring, like the value that design brings, the value that like web design brings, and like user experience design, like that's really valuable to the company, and you're coming in and you're bringing a skill set that they haven't got, and you've got control and power in that relationship too, and it's totally changed my mindset now.
Cool, good for you.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Picha, I haven't heard from Picha. I'm surprised. Maybe she's off buffering as well.
Buffering, just buffering. Well, that's really interesting. So does everyone think that then, like, having, because like, I guess everyone's goal, like, we all have a common goal, right? Building our self-confidence, because that's, obviously we all have different reasons why we're unconfident in some ways, or the opposite end with Brianna, who doesn't care. She's like doing her thing anyways, right? That, like, that's kind of what you want to aspire to. So I think, having something to work through that's like a workbook or like a weekly meeting, like, is that something that's of interest to anybody here at this table now?
I like the interactivity of it. I find that when I'm productive and I'm focusing on something, like, I'm motivated and I'm like ready to be better and learn, and it does feed into my confidence. Whereas if I'm doing it by myself and there's no sounding board, like, you end up sitting there like, oh, it's just another thing, and you're not as motivated and you just kind of push it off. I like that you've got this little focus group and you're having those opinions thrown about, and there is interactivity there. I think that's a really big part of it.
Okay, cool. Yes.
Yeah,
that's
and also being
in
in a group also keeps you a little bit accountable for, when you're not when you're sleeping off track.
When you don't want to be confident, you just want to drink wine.
Yeah,
no, we're with you. Bring the glass. Let's go.
Hilary, have you always been confident?
No.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't even think right now, like, I think my personality comes off across as confident, but like, and a lot of people be like, oh, you're such an extrovert, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, not at all. I'm an observer. I'm at the back corner of the room watching everybody, and I'll slowly circle into someone, and then we'll talk. But I think what helped me was I got a job when I was 15 doing promotions. So when I was 15, that was like before Facebook, before, fancy phones that are computers. And it was actually my job to, like, bring the knowledge of this technology to consumers in Ontario, which is the province I live in Canada, all across Ontario, and then in the East Coast too, a little bit. So I was like in malls at 15. Everyone else was 19. That was the required age for this job, and I just didn't fill out my age. And I was skipped high school. I was like, I'm getting paid. Like, why? So I had to learn really quickly how to be approachable and how to kind of give off a vibe of like, hey, this is okay, this is cool, like, let's talk about it, right? Because the whole idea was guerrilla marketing. So I had to stand in the middle of a mall, like little Hilary, 15-year-old, little mall with like a flyers that were tickets that had a cookie written on the ticket that then they had to punch in to a touch screen that was like, woo,
my God.
like, and like I had like to hand out 1,000 to 2,000 of these a day. Sometimes it was way more. The quota was like 20,000 over the weekend. So my first few attempts at that job, my manager quickly came up to me, who is like my parents' friend, right? So that's why I got hired. But, she came up to me and she was like, you look terrified. No one's coming up to you. And I was like, I am terrified. I am terrified. I was at the beer festival. I was like, I shouldn't be here. And she was like, you need to change this, change it all. And so I went on a walk around and I kind of saw all these different presenters and how they were like putting themselves out there. And then I basically had, a lot of years, like 7 years or so, to kind of like hone that craft. For example, like if a couple was coming up, you don't even look at the guy. If it's a heterosexual couple, you do not make eye contact with the man at all, ever. if you want them to take your product, it's all about the girl. You're like, hey, shoulder to the guy, like you're not even paying attention. Then she'll get them both on board. If you do it the other way, you know, not happening. So I think I got to really experiment with what confidence looks like and then attracting a group, because my job was to stand in the middle of a mall and create a scene, basically, and get people to come in by shouting out the news of like, you have a touch screen, there's a computer on your phone, like, you know, so it's kind of interesting. So that's where I think I kind of go into that mode when, you know, I'm on something like this or in a group, or it just now automatically kind of kicks in, you know, because there'd be some days where I didn't want to smile. Maybe I was hungover, you know, I was not wanting to be there, but I could put on a smile and attract the crowds because of that character, right? It's that character. And now, you know, that masking, Penny, that you were talking about, I realized like that's something that I'm very good at for my whole life. But being part of a community like this is helping me, and like doing activities like Silvina and I've been doing for the past 2 years, you know, and really getting into that self-awareness. It's helping me distinguish between what's Hilary the presenter persona versus what I'm actually like and how, you know, who I am, which is, it's still very loud. It's me right now. This is me. But like, you know, it's interesting because it does come across as confidence, but I don't think that's, I'm, like I said, I'm the person in the back of the room, like not interested. So yeah, Victoria. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a different subject. I didn't want to interrupt if you want to continue.
No, it's fine. I think.
Yeah, no worries. I was just gonna wonder, like, because this is something that still affects me to this day, but I don't know if it's like a cultural thing, but it's about education and how that ties into confidence and your role and how you're perceived as well. Like, I don't know about you, but in Ireland, like, there's a massive, like, especially with Catholics, because the previous generation was embroiled in like civil war, so half of them couldn't go to uni. So there was like a massive pressure in my age group to go to uni. I didn't. That was not. I'm basically shunned in some parts of my family, and I'm still coming across it. I'm living in England that people are asking me, because I'm uni age. I'm 22. I still get asked, like, "Are you in uni? Are you studying here?" And I'm like, "No, I'm doing my own thing. Like I'm self-taught." And I found that for months, I was finding that I was trying to justify my being self-taught and my learning and all to other people. But now I'm starting to see, like, no, that's just as valid. I can create just as good work, and I'm still learning. And as long as I'm open to growing, I can improve. Did anyone else struggle?
Yes, 100%. I don't have I've been to 4 universities and I do not have a degree from any one of them, but that's, you know, like I'm with you on that. Like I think you have to find your way, right? And figure out what that means. And just because you're not at university now, it doesn't mean that sometime in the future, you're not going to know exactly what specifically you want to learn from someone, because, you know, like, I'll stop talking, but like, I think that it's, good for you. Good for you for,
and let me just add something about that. I think, I agree with that, with the, you know, getting some sort of external validation via your achievements through university and all of that, and that's quite sort of, I'd say, deeply sort of rooted in our, I don't know, in our perhaps our parents' generation, but I think the younger generations are, I mean, I think things are changing a little bit with the, you know, nowadays you can find so much knowledge on the internet. You can basically do your own, make your own path of what you want to learn on, and blocks. You can now learn things that you're interested in sort of blocks. You don't have to be in a sort of a university environment to sort of learn that. In fact, there's a lot of I think discussion going on in terms about what the fact that universities are. I wouldn't say, obviously, if you want to be a doctor, obviously you go to university, right? Because that's, but certainly.
Don't study that on YouTube, please.
But certainly in jobs like ours, you can definitely. You know, there's even an argument to say that universities are a little bit outdated. Even they haven't been able to keep up with the pace. So, you know, there's So I think the view on universities, particularly regarding jobs in tech related kind of activities, it's a bit different, and the view on that is changing a little bit, because obviously you can learn everything on the internet nowadays, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, the turnaround time, like if you're thinking of uni, that's 3-4 years of like studying, like, I don't know, software development or whatever, or design, graphic design. But then you go straight, you're in the same place as someone else who's self-taught. Like, you're still chasing jobs, you're still chasing experience, and it's more about what you produce.
Yeah.
So it's not so much the education, which, no, I'm not gonna, like, someone wants to tell me about color theory, like, I'm sure they know way more than I do. But
but let's say with color theory, you can go on, you can go online and you can do your own learning as well on any subject that you're interested in. So so I think things are changing a little bit.
I think it's very
yeah.
Sorry, Silvina. I think it's very subjective as well, because it depends what what works best for you, and I think that's what the new generation is realizing as well, that they've got a choice. Some people didn't have a choice; they had to follow a certain path, and nowadays people can choose whether they want to learn with a book, whether they want to learn with a video, whether they need a teacher. So they've got a choice of choosing which path will take them where they want to be.
Yeah. Brianna, you had your hand up. Girl, just unmute. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, the neighbor is like cutting his grass and he keeps starting and stopping. Sorry, but I just wanted to give you some advice, Victoria, as far as like feeling bad about like not going to school or starting and then dropping out, because I was in pre-med and I had such a vision. I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a doctor. So that's funny you guys were talking about that. And like while I was in school, I was just like, this just isn't it. And I was so young, and looking back, like I'm 26 now, I'm still young, but I was such a baby then. Why did I have to make such a huge decision like that at such a young age? So my little sister is 17, and I talk to her every day about this. I just always encourage her to make your decisions wise. You have time. Even if you make the decision you want to go to school later, there's nothing wrong with that. Because I was like, maybe I want to go to midwifery school. And, there's different options. Or like, there's so many things out here for us. Explore the world, don't limit yourself. And I understand with family like shunning you in certain areas because you're supposed to go, you're supposed to do certain things. And it's your journey. You're going to go through it, you're going to have your experiences, you're going to expand, and it's so much out here. So please don't feel bad. That's really just
thank you. It's really like, that's so lovely that you're supporting your wee sister. I'm trying to do the same with my cousin because she's getting the same kind of treatment. Her grades are dropping, so like now she's suddenly like,
Hey, and if you need any support, please use the chat. I mean, you've got like about 900 people now that can help you and support. So, just reach out, and it'd be a pleasure to help you.
Hi, Max. Sorry.
Hello. And I wanted to add that in that thing, there are some of us that in the end, a more structured thing that you have to be there works better, because if you know me, I have 1 trillion online courses and I want to learn everything, but I keep jumping from one to the other, and in the end I don't finish. Or eventually I will, but it will take me like, I don't know, I will be 80 by the time I finish. Yeah, double the age I have now or something. So for some people, the structure of like, okay, you can expand from this if you want, but follow this wake up in the morning and come here.
Yeah, it's like a path, a structured path, but now you can build your own path, right? Like that, the last university I was at, that was part of the whole thing that I was talking to them about, was like, okay, people can do that for themselves now. So like, where's your value proposition, university? Like, what do you got? And a lot of the time they came with like, oh, we're a network. We provide this network for people to like get jobs afterwards. We have these professors that you can work with. So they're not necessarily selling the information anymore, because, JSTOR, all those research data banks are fairly open to the public, or like maybe it's a pay to play, but you have access now, whereas before you didn't. Even 10 years ago you didn't, and now you do. And like, Victoria, that's such an exciting time to like be educating yourself. And like the fact that you're doing that for yourself means you're going to show up and do it, right? Like some of my university classes is like, oh, go to this thing. You're like, whatever, geography. Like it's like you get a holistic approach to a bunch of information to help you choose a path, right? That then you go on to a master's or a PhD, because that's their business model, right? Like keep them coming back, keep them into that. And so you're doing your own thing. And I think that's great. And the community that used to only be available for universities, right, now exists something like this, like the Floxies. Like this is a community of so many different individuals at so many levels of their careers that can like introduce, you know, and even these Wonder Wednesdays, like we're constantly meeting amazing people every week, right, that you can network with on LinkedIn. I always like, hey, I saw your Floxies, that's great, you know, like always. And that is almost more of an edge than competing with an entire university group of like 10,000, 20,000 people, right? So it's an interesting time to be educating, which is great.
I think it's a perfect time because you can choose to do also both, or even change your mind.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's when I was studying, that was 20 years ago. Like, if you found tutorials for software online, it was like everybody were studying the same thing. So in the end, you needed that someone that it's already in there shows you something, you know, because it was very limited.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I'll be a teacher now. And I had no idea that I would be having Floxies community, doing live streaming on a Wednesday, and starting working in a tech company in a bit. So it's just like
that journey.
Yeah. Well, and we live good long lives now, hopefully. Cross my fingers for all of us that, you know, there are many, many options. I started university at the age of 62 because I couldn't decide after high school what I wanted to do. So I went in a different direction. But now I'm in university because I want to learn. I need that structure, but I also just want to learn. I want that sort of well-rounded, looking at the world kind of education that wouldn't have been helpful to me 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But now it makes my life more interesting.
Cool.
You know? So, but yeah, I like that structure because I don't even want to ever show anybody the number of books I have bought. I have kept publishers in, you know, every book there is on design and this and that and developing. I got them all, and I have read like 3 pages out of each of them.
Well, if you want to read them,
that's
Penny,
my ADHD.
If you want to read them, because you know how much I love your voice, we can have a separate event where we have a book club, and you can read 2 pages.
Penny reads. Penny reads.
Cascading
me a
style
story.
sheets.
Please, no, we just go live and we just have a book club, and Penny just reads them.
You to sleep.
Relaxing.
Because of your voice, it's nice and soothing. For us insomniacs, it will be amazing.
I think you should open a YouTube
I
channel.
can certainly read boring things to you.
No, don't do that. With boring TV and stuff, I wake up. My brain.
Okay. All right.
So
I have to be interested to fall asleep.
I want to just be mindful. It's been an hour, and I want to throw up the QR code to join the LinkedIn group as like the last slide, kind of. Because Claudia, are you gonna stop the YouTube feed in a minute?
Yeah, I was just checking the comments. Stefano was saying, I attended computer science in uni for a few months, 0 exams. I then switched for economics for a year, 0 exams. I then attended a 3 years course in digital design, and I graduated with 97 out of 100.
Nice. Nice. Solid.
Yeah. So it says the Gisve uni wasn't for me, so I found something else that resonated with me, and I was successful at it. There's always another way. Yeah. So true, Stefan.
Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly. There's always another way. And I've been talking to so many guests at the UX Vocab Club who keep like saying, there's always another way, but your experience, like you can bring that with you, and that's what helps make you an even more like unique UX designer. You know, like whatever your past was, like Penny was a dancer, you know, and then you're bringing that experience with all of those cultures and like everything that you've experienced, you're bringing that, right? And I think that's like, for me, I keep hearing that, and it's that motivates me, because I'm like, oh, I don't have to, you know, pretend that I wasn't a jewelry designer or try something else. Like that's part of my journey, and that's why I'm here now, you know. So I think that's something to remember. It's like,
yeah, I think the challenge as well, this 20 days, or 20, in this case 20 weeks challenge, is also it's a lot about you recognizing that about yourself, right? So rather than you going, oh, I've got, you know, some other whatever experience that I don't want to talk about it, it's bringing that with you, and you know, understanding that that is part of that, you should leverage that to for whatever thing you do in life, right? Rather than hiding it, no, leverage it and use it in your favor, basically.
Yeah,
that's confidence as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the days too. It's like how to leverage your strengths. Another one is like 3 successes you've had this year. Like it's really capturing you and your strengths and all. What was that? What
just entertaining the babies.
Oh, right.
The unicorn. I know I'm always making faces at Max when we have our conversation. Well, I am just so excited. Like I think the next step is requesting to join that LinkedIn community, and then we'll kind of determine when is a good time for everyone to meet, right? Because like it's obviously not going to be Wednesdays at this time, but what does that look like for everybody, so that, you know, for the next 20 weeks, we're not saying you have to come to every single one on that day, you know, but like that's the idea. We'd like you to.
Yeah, we can brainstorm and come up with a day, and maybe do a poll. And
that's what I was thinking. Just like asking everyone, like from who wants to do it. So, and also you can share this with everybody. Like this is open to everybody. It's not just a specific thing at this time. I'm pretty sure we allow guys into the Floxies school, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
For this one.
Yeah. So yeah, like anybody can join, and I guess like we're kind of looking to launch it over the next like month, I guess. So if everyone, or you know, if we could do it sooner, that'd be great. But you know, realistically, to get the poll out and to understand when it's going to happen, maybe, you know, next 3 weeks, the month. That's kind of right, Silvina. Am I just making this up? Is that kind of
No, I think no. That's absolutely correct. Spot on, Hilary.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yes. Okay,
we can probably take a short video of the school and post it in the LinkedIn group. So because we didn't have a chance today, so maybe me and you could do like a small tutorial on how it's gonna work.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming here and sharing like all of your
thank you for coming. Thank you for being so amazing. Silvina, you know, you didn't fail my expectations. You were amazing, just as much as Hilary, of course. And I'm so looking forward to be starting on this confidence journey. And I'm sure everyone here at the end of it will be just a blossom Floxie.
Blossom, exactly. Flourishing.
Yes, like Renee.
Yeah.
Mama Renee.
Mama Renee, mini Renee. Yeah, she's telling us to flourish, right? So that's what we're gonna do all together. So that's cool. Sweet. Oh my god.
All right.
Thank you, Ada.
Thank you all, and I will see you
so much.
Thank you.
I will see you next Wednesday, and applications for Floxies ambassadors are open. So if you'd like to represent your country, please fill in the form. I will be reading each and every one of them.
Nice.
All right. Take care, you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.